Have you ever looked at your investment account, seen the balance go up, and thought, wait a minute, how much of that is the market doing its thing, and how much is just the cash I keep adding? It's a super common question. Well, today, we are going to get you the answer. We're going to calculate your portfolio's true return.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll start with why this is such a headache for so many of us. Then I'll show you a way more practical method to figure it out. We'll break down the formula so it's not scary at all, I promise. Then we'll do the math together with a real-world example, and we'll wrap up with what you really need to know. Okay, so first things first, let's really dig into the core of the problem. When you're constantly adding money or even taking it out, it gets super fuzzy trying to figure out what's your contribution versus what's actual market growth.
I mean, this is the question, right? It's that classic feeling. Your account's growing, which is awesome, but you have this nagging sense that you don't really know how your investments are performing. It's a really common frustration, especially if you're a disciplined, regular investor.
Now, you might be thinking, isn't there a perfect professional way to do this? And yeah, there is. The pros use something called a time-weighted rate of return, or TWRR for short. It's kind of the gold standard because it perfectly strips out the effect of your cash going in and out. The catch? To actually calculate it, you need to know the exact value of your portfolio every single day you add or withdraw money. For most of us, that's just not going to happen.
So, if the pro method is pretty much off the table, what are we supposed to do? Well, don't worry. There is a fantastic, much more practical method that's basically designed for people like you and me.
And this chart really shows you the difference. Over on the left, you've got the super complex TWRR. Their goal is to completely eliminate cash flow effects. But look on the right at the Modified Dietz method. Its goal is to account for your cash flows and look at the data needed, just your start and end values and your contributions. It's just perfect for tracking your own personal portfolio.
So what is this thing exactly? Well, the Modified Dietz method is simply a way to measure your return that smartly considers when you put your money in. It understands that timing matters, and it was actually developed to give a really accurate picture without needing a supercomputer. It solves our exact problem.
And here is the secret sauce. This is the whole idea in a nutshell. Money you put in at the start of the year has more time to grow, right? So that January contribution is a heavyweight. It has a big impact on your results. But that money you add in December, it's a lightweight. It's barely been in the game. The Modified Dietz method gets this, and it weights each contribution accordingly. It's so smart.
All right, deep breath. It's time to look at the formula. I know, formulas can make you want to just click away, but stick with me. I promise you, this is way easier than it looks. We're going to break it down into two super simple, totally logical ideas.
Okay, there it is in all its glory. Don't even try to memorize it. Just see it for what it is, a fraction. All we're doing here is taking your profit and dividing it by the average amount of money you had invested during the year. That's it. Let's look at the top part and the bottom part one by one. So the top number is just your net gain. Think of this as your pure, unadulterated investment profit. We take what you ended with, subtract what you started with, and, this is the key, we subtract out all the new cash you put in yourself. What's left over? That's what the market actually did for you.
Now for the bottom number, this is your average capital. All this does is figure out, on average, how much money you had working for you all year. So we take your starting amount and we add those weighted contributions we just talked about, the heavyweights and the lightweights. This gives us a really fair number to compare your profit against.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's get our hands dirty and make this real. We're going to walk through a super practical example together, step by step, so you can see exactly how this works in the real world. So let's meet Alex. She's doing everything right. She's young, she's consistent. She kicks off the year with 10 grand in her account. And every single month, like clockwork, she adds another $500. At the end of the year, her balance reads $17,500. The big question is, what was her actual return?
So here are the raw numbers. Simple, right? Started with $10,000, put in a total of $6,000 over the year, and ended with $17,500. That's all the info we need. Let's plug it into our formula.
Okay, let's walk through the 4 steps. Step 1 is the only tricky part, calculating that weighted cash flow. Remember, the $500 from January gets more weight than the $500 from December. When you do the math for all 12 of her contributions, it comes out to just over $3,000. Okay, the hard part's over. Step 2 is a breeze. Find the net gain. That's her ending value minus her starting value minus what she put in. Easy, $1,500. Step 3, we find her average capital. We just add her starting money to that weighted cash flow from step 1.
And finally, step 4, we just divide step 2 by step 3. And there it is. Alex's true personalized rate of return for the year was 11.52%. See? This number tells the real story. It accurately reflects her performance because it took into account the timing of every single one of those monthly $500 investments. That's not a guess, that's her real return.
Awesome. So now you know how to do the calculation. Before you run off and try it, let's just cover a few key things you should probably keep in the back of your mind.
So the big strengths are pretty clear. It's practical, it's really accurate for most of us, and the best part is you can do it with the statements you already have. It's even an industry-accepted method. But it is important to know its limits. It's still an approximation, not a perfect number. And its accuracy can get a little wonky if you, say, drop a huge chunk of money into your account right when the market is going crazy. But for regular, consistent investing, it is a fantastic tool.
So, I'll just leave you with this thought. You now have this powerful, but totally doable, way to figure out what's really going on with your money, to cut through all that noise. So when you actually sit down and run the numbers, what story is your portfolio going to tell you?